Hello, this is John. Today we're going to talk about drip irrigation for planters. This is the first episode of Easy and Inexpensive, so welcome. So for 5 years I've been doing indoor planters, planting vegetables mainly, and it's just been a hassle. The drip irrigation part has been a real hassle. So I'm going to try this system. Previously I tried these Orbit 8-valve drip emitters, and it seemed like it worked great. You adjust the valve with a screwdriver here, but I just couldn't get it right. They're really fine adjustments, and I'd measure the water that was coming out, and I think I'd have it set perfectly, and then I'd come back in a week or two and it'd be too dry, or there'd be water in the planter. So after 5 years of messing with it, I'm trying something different. What I'm trying here is I'm just using normal half-inch tubing, normal half-inch drip tubing. And on the top here I have normal half-inch drip compression fittings. On the bottom here I'm doing barbed fittings. You just squeeze them on. And they squeeze on about as hard as the compression fittings do. You can either clamp them on like you would a sprinkler system, or a way to try it would just be to do a little heat shrinking on it. There we go. Which I've done on those other two fittings already. Or they clamp on pretty tight, so I'm just going to leave them. If they leak a little bit, who cares? I've drilled holes in all this tubing to let the water out, because that's less expensive than putting in little drip buttons. And I don't need drip buttons. I'm going to bury this in about 3 or 4 inches of soil, so it'll be a subterranean drip. I'm doing that because when they get too wet, I got those water gnats in here, and those are a pain in the butt. So I'm hoping that there won't be enough surface water for those water gnats to live on. One thing I had was I realized I couldn't tell how wet it was sometimes until I got water showing at the top. So I also have built this subterranean drain with an observation port, which worked great. Because the first time I tried this video, I turned on the water and I forgot to turn it off. And so I came back and it was flooded. So I was able to drain the system with the subterranean drain. But it's all hooked up now. Let's turn on the water and see what happens. So my plan is to run the system for 2 or 3 minutes every few days. Right now that's just a manual setting, and I can use that observation port to look in to see how much water is sitting down at the bottom of the planter. And you can see the water's running in. These are the barbs I used. I get all my stuff at Home Depot or Lowe's. It doesn't really matter. There's the ones I just squeezed on, and they're not leaking anymore. I mean, nothing's leaking. The water's coming out the holes where I wanted it to. So I'll put the soil on this, and I'll see you in a week or so, because I want to check it and make sure everything's working well, and we'll check back with you. Thank you. Okay, it's been 6 days since I last filled this up and turned on the drip. I was running it 1 minute every other day 2 days ago, I moved that up to 2 minutes every other day, and I just moved it up to 3 minutes every other day. You can see in there it's perfectly dry, but the plants are getting water. I planted them. They're a little high. They're a little proud. I actually added about 5 or 6 inches of soil on top of the drip, and I wish I might add another inch or two. So I was going to give you a quick overview of my drip system. So I have a spigot, has a backflow preventer, then I run through a timer, washing machine hose, 1/2-inch PVC pipe. The PVC pipe runs and then connects, and this is where I had the 8 drip emitter. I just use purple primer and Christie's PVC glue. I like Christie's because it lasts longer in the can, and I don't use it often. I want to get everything either glued or screwed on with tape until it's over the planter, because I don't want any leaks. I'll show you a quick little thing that might help you. So I was laying this one out, and I'm gonna make it deeper because I'm planting a bunch of airplane plants in it. But you can see I made one tube too long. It's kind of binding. Let's see if you can see that. It's kind of binding on there. So I'm gonna cut this tube. You can pull them apart. It's a little hard. You just have to work it back and forth. But here's an easier way. Just cut it off. That's probably about right. Once again, I just use pruning shears. Grab your X-Acto knife or some other blade and just kind of go slowly. Cut it. You just peel it off. Now it's a little shorter. Slip that barb on. Push it on. It's about a right length now. I'll connect another one. Barb it. This, oops, I haven't put that one on yet. Oh, that's not the right length. Let me cut one a different length. So cut one the right length. Shove it on there. And you could use all different kinds of fittings. You could use something like this, but then a fitting on that. Or you could use, a fitting like this, which is kind of a compression. This is what my local hardware store sells, so I use it. It seems to work pretty well. Put it in there. This already had a compression one on it, and then you tighten it down. That's how it'll go. So I'm doing this planter about 8 inches deep because I'm gonna just fill it with airplane plants. So here's that planter, and I'm gonna show you how I drill holes in the pipe. For this one that's a little more out of the sun, I'm gonna drill them about 10 inches apart because it won't dry out quite as quick. Well, that one that's in the sun, I drilled about 6 inches apart. So you just take a drill, just go like that. I gotta do this one kind of spaced between them. So I'm testing the water. I've got no leaks at the fitting. You can see the water. That's a lot of water coming out of here. I might have a potential problem in the fact that it goes up and over the ceiling to come down to this planter. I'm not feeling water in this hose. So that ruins that theory. I'm gonna have to put drips on here. It's flowing too quick and it just shut off. So I'm gonna try it with drip. Okay, so it was flowing out way too fast with just the holes. I had to test a few different emitters because I just have a box of old emitters. I never know which ones are gonna be fast or slow. But I think this is good now. We can look inside because I've tested quite a few. There's no water in the pipe yet, but that was dry soil. I don't know if you can see down in there. So it's still absorbing the soil. Now I can come to this one. Yeah, I can feel water running in this pipe. I can just feel it with my hand running down. So it's getting water now. So this planter was first in line, and then I showed you it goes to this one and then it'll go to that one. So that is worth remembering. First in line planter, you might need less holes or you might need drips to keep it flowing a little slower to make sure it gets to the other planters. And I don't turn my spigot on full power. In fact, it's just a quarter turn, because if something ever leaked or busted, I don't want it to flow really fast. So here's the planter with those airplane plants planted in it. I have a little room for something else.